Hi, this is Dennis Gage. Thanks for tuning in to My Classic Car, home of the certified car nut. This week, we're honored to be guests of the American Motors Owners Association at their international convention, held this year just outside St. Louis, Missouri. The convention is hosted by a different local AMC club each year, and this year's host is the Gateway AMC Club. Behind me are approximately 150 of some of the finest American Motors cars in the world. And joining me now is Jeff Malacarney, president of the Gateway AMC Club.
Welcome, Dennis. Welcome to St. Louis.
Great to be here. Great show. Good turnout. Now, I said about 150 cars. Am I right?
Give or take 15, 20 cars. We got some a little later registrations, and they're drizzling a little bit, but right around there.
Now, and there's a little bit of everything under the AMC umbrella, isn't there?
Yes, yeah. We cover everything from the late 50s, early Ramblers, until the mid 80s, late ones when Renault took over AMC.
Well, now, these cars are coming from all over the place, too, right?
Yes, we've got people coming from Canada, as well as Southern California, Northern Midwest, Florida. We have people that have come from England, Dominican Republic, and other parts in Europe that are AMC oriented.
Well, you know, that's one of the things I found is you AMC people are serious. You're very serious about your mark.
Serious, dedicated. I mean, if you got something like an AMC that's rare and it's hard to get parts for, you got to be serious, you got to be dedicated, or you just won't get a prime product like you're going to see here today.
Well, you're really kind of a big family.
We are. It is. This is a homecoming. Everybody comes here, and after all the years I've been to this show, it is a homecoming. You know of all the people, and it's great. It's just great to come out.
Well, I just appreciate you guys keeping the legend alive.
And we're going to do it, and with your help, we'll continue.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jeff.
This convention of die-hard AMC fans is located at a different site each year. I had a chance to chat with Daryl Salisbury, president of the AMO Association, about how they choose the locations.
We've got regional chapters all over, and they come with a proposal to the Board of Directors meeting and give the proposal, and then the Board of Directors okays it.
So you're planned a ways out. The other thing I notice about AMC people is they're into this.
Yes.
And so you're planned out through 2004. So 2000 is in, as the button
Yes, it's
says,
in Connecticut.
It's in Connecticut.
Yep, Berlin, Connecticut.
And then you got a big one, the 100th anniversary.
The 100th anniversary of Rambler, 1902 to 2002, and that's going to be in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And it's going to be a celebration sponsored by the Wisconsin municipalities, the state government, the local government, AMO, and other AMC car clubs.
Well, we'll try to make it to the AMO convention in 2002, but in the meantime, we have to take a look at all the stunning cars at this show.
Well, Bob, we're here with another member of the American Motors family, a Nash, but this has got to be the sexiest Nash ever built. This is a Nash Healey.
Well, if it isn't, it's one of the sexiest Nashes ever built.
1952 Nash Healey, a Le Mans Nash Healey.
Well, that's what they called him because they raced at Le Mans and they did extremely well.
Very competitive.
They did better than the Chrysler Hemi-powered Cunninghams did.
Well, the body style was what drew me here. It's a Pininfarina. It's just really flowing and beautiful.
He designed it and he built it.
Is that right? And it's a metal body, eh?
It's a metal body, yes.
Now, the interior is very open roadster, leather.
Yeah, leather.
You still got your lap belt, your race
That's
lap
the
belt.
competition seat belt.
Because you did race it.
I raced it a lot in SCCA back in the late 50s, early 60s.
Wow.
It did very, very well.
Very competitive.
Yes.
And the gauges are pretty understated, pretty simple, but it's built for go.
It's
and
built
what's
for go.
powering this it's a conversion. It's not the original, but it's an acceptable conversion, right?
It has the AMC 327 V8, which is not a Chevy.
It's the AMC 327.
It is not a Chevy. It's got a solid lifter Isky cam and a big Holly carburetor and headers and everything, and it turns 7,000 RPMs real easy.
And they were putting these in along towards the end of this, right?
Yes, this engine came out just as production was ending on these cars, so a number of cars were converted by the factory execs.
So it really is a legitimate conversion.
Yeah, I was a factory service rep, so I knew what to do. So
it just dropped in.
Yes.
Now,
if you knew the right parts, you could drop it right in.
And this
there.
thing goes fast.
It goes fast, even by today's standards.
And would hit what kind of straightaway speeds?
On a race course, I was hitting over 140, and the ultimate top end on it's probably around 150.
You were telling me this is the last you're going to be driving it for a while.
Yeah, as soon as this event's over, I'm going to take it home, tear it all down, and completely restore it again.
Well, you know, we'll be talking again.
Hey, I hope so.
Bob, thanks so much.
Thanks, Dennis.
I love this car. Well, Mike, this is a really rare car, a 71 AMX. So rare they never even made it.
That's correct.
This was the prototype for the 71 AMX if it had continued on. They ceased production in 70.
Right. They made them 3 years. This would have been year 4 had it continued. It would have been 71.
And so this was actually Dick Teague's personal car. Dick Teague was the vice president of design
at American Motors. And the car was in danger of being killed out of production, and he so wanted to keep the two-seater involved that he brought his own car into the design studio.
And they did the design work on it to try and sell it to the board. Now, it really, in the back, it looks like a 68 AMX, excepting for the
Trans Am
spoilers.
Javelin spoiler.
Right. Now, as you move forward, it's got some different things in the interior.
Right, it's got later model seats, and it's got a special jump seat in the back, an armrest that never was, and a steering wheel that's could be Shelby, could be Italian. We're not quite sure what it is.
But the real change was up here in front. This front end looks an awful lot like a 71 Javelin.
That's right. It actually became the design prototype of the 71 Javelin.
And all of this stuff was handmade fiberglass, is that right?
That's right.
Well, pop the hood. I want to have a look at that. So you can see, in fact, that is.
It's all handmade.
Glass.
See how it goes like that? There's one piece all the way around here. On a regular Javelin, this would be separate doors and separate everything, and would be like molded plastic. The grill would be plastic, but this one is metal, all hand bolted together.
And even the fenders are fiberglass.
Yeah, fiberglass fenders, fiberglass bumpers.
Now they look a little almost Corvette inspired, is it?
Well, one of the stories I heard is it was inspired by the race team had a Corvette sitting around.
That's
but I don't know that for sure. Yeah.
Now the engine's badged as a 401.
Right, but it was actually a 390 because the car was put together a couple of years earlier. In '69, they didn't have the 401 yet.
But in '71, it was going to be a 401. So
right, so they badged it.
401.
They knew it was going to be a 401, so they badged it as one.
But this is a true piece of history here. American Motors design history, and I think it's great that you've brought it back and kept it alive. That's wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for sharing it with us. Well, Chris, this is pretty weird. Mighty Mite, right?
Exactly.
It's the Mighty Mite. This was developed when?
January 1960 to January 1963, they were produced
By AMC.
by American Motors in the old Hudson plant in Detroit
For the Marine Corps.
for the Marine Corps only.
Well, this is a very interesting vehicle. It's aluminum bodied
Right?
to be lightweight and air droppable and all that.
Right?
And it has some interesting features, certainly a luxurious interior.
Spacious interior.
Spacious interior.
Seating for 4. You just have to pull up your back seat.
Those were the jump seats.
That's where the jump seats.
Now it's got some interesting features suspension-wise. You were saying cantilever leafs,
Correct. 4-wheel independent cantilever leaf suspension.
and it's a 4-speed, 4-wheel drive.
4 speeds in 4-wheel drive, 3 speeds in 2-wheel drive.
But the really cool thing about this is that the engine is air-cooled,
Yep.
right? And again, this was an AMC engine.
An AMC engine is an air-cooled V 4-cylinder aluminum block engine.
And did they use this in anything else?
No, just in the Marine Corps and just in the Mighty Mites, and they were used through Vietnam, and then all sold in '75 and all the parts as well.
And they only made, what, 3,900 or so of these?
3,900 and some odd.
And you're just such an AMC nut, you had to have this.
Had to have it. It's different.
Good to be different, right?
Good to be different.
Indeed it is. Chris, thanks a bunch, man.
Thank you, Dennis, as always.
Let's go four-wheeling. What do you say?
Yeah.
One of the benefits of this job is that I get to look at some extraordinary car collections. A prime example of this is the Perkins Collection.
Hey, we're in Juneau, Wisconsin with Bob Perkins of Perkins Restoration. Bob, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dennis.
Bob's got the most amazing collection of original unrestored Mustangs on the planet. We're going to show you around here today, starting with this, which is the lowest mileage car in the shop, 2.8 miles on this 73 convertible.
That's right. This car was bought new 1973 by a Ford dealership up in Bloomer, Wisconsin.
But not even dealer prepped.
No, they knew this was the last year of the Mustang convertible, so they put it up. Don Nielsen knew what he was going to do.
2.8 miles. But this 73 Mach is the one that actually got you started in the whole area of collecting original unrestored.
Right, I bought this in 1981 from Jackie Jones, a good friend of mine, and this was the first unrestored brand new Mustang I had a chance to buy.
351 Cobra Jet,
That's correct.
and pretty much won everything it
Yeah,
could.
it has 4,400 original miles, and it's the only Mustang that I'm aware of in the Mustang Club of America that has won the restored, the unrestored, and the thoroughbred class as an unrestored Mustang.
But I love this Showroom Fresh 66. This is just a sweet little car.
Yeah, this is an excellent example of the first generation Mustang. It's basically a brand new car. It has 2,000 original miles.
2,000. Now how about this 71 Boss 351? How many miles?
2,800.
2,800, and a very rare car, made only 1 year.
That's right, and it was a unique car, and the motor special with the Boss, option on it.
Like solid lifters and all the performance goodies.
Right.
But everybody's favorite, the 70 Boss 302.
This is definitely my favorite car. 1,500 original miles, mostly original paint. We've done a little detailing on it, but it's a brand new car.
And the color is just kind of the classic Boss color.
Well, that was Ford's team color for 1970.
But the granddaddy of all Mustang muscle, the Boss 429. This thing is killer.
The Boss 429 is probably the ultimate Ford muscle car, and if you take it to a car show, they definitely draw a crowd.
They swarm around it. How many miles?
8,200 original miles.
But never been even detailed.
No, this is a totally original car, never been painted on or detailed.
And you were telling me that actually this isn't just a Mustang with a 429 slammed in it. It's a special car from the firewall forward.
That's right. It's a unique unibody from the firewall forward, including all the suspension.
But I like this one down here. This is a real sleeper. Plain Jane 70 fastback. With the hood down, you'd think it was a six-banger.
That's right. It looks like a six-banger, but under the hood there's a 428 Super Cobra jet.
Again, with all the drag goodies?
And some extras, like the dual quad intake that was sold over the counter to give you more added performance.
Man, how many miles?
6,000 original miles.
Wow, comes off the line pretty quick though, I'll bet.
Very quick.
Very quick. Well, now the car's only part of the store. You've got an incredible collection of dealership memorabilia, parts, and all that stuff. Let's go have a look at some of that.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bob doesn't just collect Mustangs. Oh no, he collects practically anything associated with Mustangs. Bob had enough memorabilia to recreate a late 60s dealership parts department and service center. He literally had a museum-quality exhibit. The longer I was in Bob's shop, the further back in time I felt myself traveling.
But Bob, this is a personal favorite from my high school days. A 66 2+2 fastback 289. Gorgeous car. How many miles?
4,000.
Ooh, I don't think I was in one with only 4,000 back in 66, but would you mind putting a few more on?
We'll put a couple on.
All right, let's do it. Man, it even smells new. Fires right up.
Sitting in the front seat of this 66 fastback, I felt like I was right back in high school. Warm afternoons, my favorite tunes on the radio, and not a care in the world. I even felt younger. Life is good.
Well, and you've become kind of the Mustang guy,
Well,
more or less.
yeah, I guess I got in it at the right time and you know, kind of had a different goal in what I was collecting and the way I was restoring cars were, you know, we wanted to make the cars 100% authentic, not a resto mod or anything like that. So it's kind of a small clientele, but it's, you know, a good one to be.
It's also a growing clientele, actually. People are turning away from these over-restorations.
Right. I tend to call the over-restorations as incorrect restorations. And you know, when people talk about paint jobs with no orange peel, that's being over-restored, and I look at it as being incorrectly restored.
Bob, it was great. It was awesome. It was a step back in time. Man, you made my day. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for coming.
So what do you say? Now we take out the Boss 429?
Next time.
Next time.